you've all been waiting for. It's time!
Welcome to the show where the screams collide, where blood runs cold and the shadows hide. Each week a fight, two films will clash. Last week's champ, will it burn to ash? The Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and gore will always flow. One film wins, one must go. The Roasted Snow Horror Show. Lights go down, the fight begins. Which nightmare takes the final win? You pick your side, we'll break it down. The Roasted Snow, the goriest showdown.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and dread go head to head. I'm your host, Ryan Rosted. Everybody thinks my last name is Roasted, and I'm here with my good buddy and co-host, Snowman Chris Snow. And dude, that song gets me so fucking jacked up each week.
Bro, yeah, I mean, there's no better way to intro this show. You killed it with the song. I mean, every time I hear it, I get hyped and I'm ready to go. I love it so much.
I'm over here doing fist pumps. I'm like, I'm knocking shit off my desk. I'm just, it's a mess in here right now.
I have the kill switch on my mic, so when I headbang too hard, you won't hear it through the speaker.
Like, I know how this show, for the most part is going to go. And if I get jacked up about it, I hope everybody else does too, and can turn off their brain for a little bit and, listen to us debate some of these movies. That's what we're here for. This is your friendly conversation after you walk out of a theater. Chris, if you want to walk us into what we might be doing tonight, and we can get into a couple announcements here before we get into it. But I know you've been just as psyched as I am to talk about this today.
Yeah, boy. I've been waiting for this one since we started the podcast, because this one, tonight we're doing, I don't necessarily want to say this is my favorite horror film, but it definitely ranks up there for me. And fair warning, I'm going into this one, and as far as where it ranks for me, with a little bit of bias, because in the last 13 years, this film, I should say one of these films, still sticks out for me as one of the horror recommendations that I give people, that I'm like, hey, if you want to be scared, if you want to lose sleep tonight, this is the one to watch. We are talking about Sinister 1, Sinister 2, going right up head-to-head to The Black Phone and The Black Phone 2. By the way, a lot of Ethan Hawke in tonight's episode. Just putting that out there.
It's the Ethan Hawke Bowl. I love it.
It really is.
And he plays two completely different characters, and that's why that's why it's such a fun little matchup. And I'm with you. When we first started this, it's definitely in my top 5 probably, and maybe even top 3, because I mentioned it as well. Hell House LLC was one that I would mention. This one is also, more people have seen this one than some of the others, but and the way this one came about was, obviously we knew we wanted to talk about it on this show, but we do have that formula of like, okay, it's got to be matched up against something and it's got to make sense, and was really struggling with it. And I actually went and saw Black Phone 2 with my wife, and we were walking out, and she was like, oh, well, how was that? And I was like, oh, it was a hell of a lot better than Sinister 2, but that isn't saying much. And she goes, I wonder, well, what franchise do you think is better? And I like laughed. I was like, what do you think I think is better? And then she really got me thinking. She's like, no, if Sinister 2 has to be tying down Sinister, where does Black Phone and Black Phone 2 match up to that? And I started thinking, I actually can't give you a legit answer without actually looking into it. And then, obviously going back through these films, I do think it warrants a discussion on, because they're, and I'll just tell you right now, outside of Sinister 2, I think the other 3 movies are really solid, and we'll go into why Sinister 2 didn't really work for me, or I'm guessing you, the majority of audiences.
So I'm gonna have a bit of a hot take on this one tonight. So I'm really
you warned me on that. So okay, all right. I can't wait to get get into that, a little housekeeping before. We did want to mention how much we appreciate all the support. It keeps growing and growing. Obviously we're babies at this. This is only our, I believe this is going to be our fifth episode that we're doing. So, yay, happy fifth anniversary. So we love doing this each week, and I love seeing comments come in. And we had mentioned it last week, but we do want you to hit us up on our email. It's roastedsnowhorror@gmail.com, and you can send us anything. Send us a funny story that you have that relates to a horror movie. If you disagree with what we say, if you agree with what we say, if you have any recommendations, we're always looking for off the wall recommendations, which if we remember, we will get into at the very end of this episode. It's been a goal that we've had, and we just get so caught up in our conversations that the episode will end, and after we're done recording, and we'll be like, damn it, we were going to tell people about a couple under the radar suggestions. But make sure keep the conversation going. Visit us on our Facebook page, Roasted Snow Horror Show, our YouTube page, same name. We're probably going to get a Twitter account, or an X account, I guess, and an Instagram. So, and make sure to like and subscribe on any of the podcast platforms that you're listening to us on. I can't talk right now, but yeah, no. And I hate it when people say like and subscribe, and then here I am doing it. So just know it's to keep us doing this as much as we can, because we love it, and we love the feedback. And actually, Chris, I have to tell you, because you don't have access to the Facebook page, but we did get a couple comments here from our Shelby Oaks and Dream Eater episodes, and
Oh yeah.
you're not gonna like the comments.
Well.
Yeah, we
Tell me
had
about how many wrong people decided to talk about how wrong they are.
I didn't think anyone. We got Stephen Horn that said Dream Eater was better. So thank you, Stephen. Love that. And then we also had one. I promise there was this comment. I can't find the name though, but he was just like, Shelby Oaks sucked, and I was like, well, I don't know if I agree with that. It did not suck in my view, but we love the comments, especially when you agree with me. I love it.
You dirty little man. You have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
You are the chosen one.
You have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
You are the chosen one!
So, and then we had Will Ruddock. I hope I'm getting that last name right. If I butcher it, I'm sorry. But on the VHS episode that we did, he commented and said that the haunted house segment was definitely his favorite at the end, the home haunt. So thank you guys for reaching out on those. And obviously we look forward to reading more on the show going forward. But we will get done with the housekeeping right now. And we're gonna give you a little backstory on just kind of the franchises, spoiler free, and then we'll dig into each movie. So Chris, if you want to take the honors with Sinister and just a brief walkthrough.
Love to. So I actually remember, I'll give you a little bit of experience here. So this one sticks out to me because this is one that Mikey and I went and saw in Grand Junction. We were both working at Target at the time, and I'm a big fan of horror, and we got out at 10 o'clock, and we're like, we weren't quite ready to go home, and this new film Sinister was playing at the theater across the street. I was like, Mike, let's go check this out. He said, okay. So he and I went over to watch this thing, and both of us were just like, knees to our chins, like this is genuinely scary. Watched it, talked about it a lot. I'll never forget. It actually came out on video. And one of the girls, or I should say one of the girls, Mike's girlfriend at the time, came over to watch it too. And this girl hated horror films. Like she was so terrified of them, and he tricked her into watching it too. But that kind of sticks out in my mind. But the fact of the matter is, like, this film genuinely, like for being a low budget horror film, right? This one is genuinely terrifying. It's not over the top. There's almost no gore at all. I mean, there's a little bit of blood here and there, but there's no overt scenes of gore. It's all presented in a way in a found footage kind of way, right? There's the overarching theme. and the videos that actually show murder in the film are like found footage things, or they're videos that the main character finds in the attic. So that kind of kicked off. Sinister was under the radar, kind of almost call it an indie horror film that hit the ground, and it just blew up. And obviously, it created a sequel that most people are not too hot on. Like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit more tonight. But yeah, Sinister's up there for me as far as how terrifying it is, how well written it is. I feel like it's acted really well. I feel like all parts of it come together to make it a really good, scary film. And I'm hoping that at some point they'll revisit that universe, because the big bad in that universe is really scary, really scary.
Yeah, and I'll back you up on that sentiment. I mean, I remember watching the first trailer for it, and I think people get a little confused because it did come out in a time where horror was not very good. There were a lot of um it was like cookie cutter. It was you see the same five movies. None of them are really, and none of them scared you for sure, especially if you're a seasoned horror vet. So I remember watching the trailer and I'm like, okay, like, and I have to be in the right mood for a supernatural movie.
Supernatural, metaphysical, paranormal, that type of stuff.
And this one blends really well with the supernatural and the real life aspect of it. I mean, we'll get into the plot a little bit more when we talk about spoilers, but like Ethan Hawke's character, Ellison, he is a true crime writer and he's going over these murders. And so the way that they blend it was it was so good. And I remember watching it just totally on the edge of my seat. And like you said, it's rare to have a movie like that. And you mentioned that you saw it with Mikey, and one that I saw with Mike. And it really doesn't have anything to do with Sinister or anything, but it was The Strangers, and that was that was one. I wouldn't say I lost sleep over it, but that was another one where I was like, man, this was this was so simple and easy to get, and I just remember he I don't know why Mike did it, but there was just like a lull in the movie, and he did this weird like clown honk. He's like, and the theater started dying. And then there was one guy that was like 3 rows behind us, and he was like screaming the whole time. And then the final credits roll, and then it's just dead silent, and all you can hear is him go, like, that movie was lame as shit. That wasn't scary.
That sounds like Mike too.
Yeah. Well, no, this was a different guy that said it. That was a couple rows behind us, but yeah, like Mike doing the
Yep.
yeah. Thanks, Mike. These people are dying, but whatever. Sure, that's fine. But yeah, like there are scenes in this movie that like, and I even revisit. Like I watched Sinister last night just to prep for this, and oh man,
it holds up. It still holds up.
It does, and that was one of the thoughts that I had. Was I was like, okay, and I watch it yearly, at least, sometimes more. Like if I'm homesick or something, I will throw that on, and there's still scenes in there that I'm just like, I gotta either look away or and we'll get in more into it. But man, like that argument that maybe it just stood out because everything else was hot garbage. No, throw that completely out of the window. This is it's one. Now there are a couple aspects, of course, on rewatches that I'm not crazy about, but and that one goes up against Black Phone 2, or sorry, Black Phone and Black Phone 2, that series. And that one's interesting because it is and the reason we picked these series is because Ethan Hawke, you gotta have Ethan Hawke.
Oh my God, it's Ethan Hawke!
You just gotta.
Yeah, and then Scott Derrickson was the writer and director. I don't think he directed Sinister 2, but he still wrote it. So he's been heavily involved. These are his 2 babies, and you can totally see where that comes from on this. It's and in the Black Phone, it came out during COVID, which hurt it a little bit. And I wasn't sold on the fact that Ethan Hawke was going to be a bad guy, because especially, I'm sure other people have. Like Ethan Hawke was in The Purge. Like he's been in horror movies, but he's never the bad guy. And he's actually talked about how he did not want to accept this role because he didn't want to be, seen as that evil of a person, because some people can't differentiate the actor from the character. And luckily he read the script. He loved it. and obviously these are the two more recent movies, but there are a lot of carryover between the soundtrack. There's a Super 8 aspect in all of these movies that really brings it home and keeps you waiting for the next side of it. And we actually talked about that VHS series, and Scott Derrickson did Dream Kill, which I had as one of my favorites, which was the one where the kid is seeing premonitions of murders that haven't happened yet. It's in that same Super 8 style. So he kills it every single time. I love most of these movies. But man, it's just, and the character development, we're going to get into it. But before we do, we came back with John's jingles, because he said that he had seen Sinister like way back when, but he didn't really remember it all that well. So he decided to watch it again. And he's becoming a true contributor on the show. So we figured we'd give him his own little theme song. So it's like 40 seconds. So John, we'll play you in right here, and then we'll give you a little intro to your segment.
Here comes John with his phone in hand, scaredy cat in a haunted land. He's texting fast, he's sweating slow. It's the roast, it's no horror show. John's jingle, it's a frightful thing. He screams, he laughs, he makes phones ping. Ghosts and ghouls, they just won't go. But John's our guy on roasted snow. Chainsaws buzzing, shadows creep. John's typing jokes he'll never keep. Popcorn flies, he's out of breath, texting his way through near death. John's jingle, it's a frightful thing. He screams, he laughs, he makes phones ping. Monsters lurk, the lights are low, but John's still texting roasted snow.
All right, John. So for those of you that are new, my old boss, John, he loves horror movies, but he gets scared very easily. So way back when he was watching The Conjuring 2, he was texting me the whole time. So doing this podcast, we asked him to watch some horror movies that he had never seen, or it's been a long time since he's seen them. So he's done it for like Hell House and the VHS series. So go back and watch those episodes, because instead of just reading what he texted me, we made it into a song. Our AI overlords help us out. So again, it's not going to give too many spoilers. Especially Sinister has been out for like 13 years now. So we did have him watch that. So this is John's take on Sinister.
Sinister. Here we go. Well, shit, let's hang for people right off the start. Listen here, kid. Start helping unpacking and stop painting on the walls. Hey, this cop is a dude from Die Hard. Yeah, write this down. Move now, dumbass. This family is a Dateline special waiting to happen. Oh shit, that's the same trio. Fucking scorpion in the attic. Yeah, move now, they must be broke. Can't even afford a haircut for their hippie kid. Home film edit, potato sack race gone bad. Losers? Fucking hey! Yeah, no shit who made the film. You think Mr. Pulitzer? That's a demon breeze, time to move. Why can't anyone ever turn a fucking light on? The kid can't paint or find the bathroom. Oh sure, watch another movie. Day at the lake? What the fuck? Some shit editing in these short films, that's for sure. Yeah, it's an emergency. I am doing shots of Fireball, watching snuff films, pool party, woo! No, well it ain't little Michelangelo making the noise. Dude, turn on a fucking light. What the ever-loving fucker's haircut doing in a box? Bad dream, my ass, that little shit is Demon Boy. Ha. Did Trevor try peeing in the dryer again? Trevor's a mess and it's back to the screening room. Well, this pool party went south real fucking quick. What the shit? How to edit Super 8? Obviously, whoever made these films didn't take that class. Hey, how about Googling up? How do I know my house is haunted? Again with the camera light only. That's a lot of packing tape. That's a red fucking flag. Can I get 2 cases of packing tape? Oh, and that big ass knife, please. Noise in the attic. Yeah, dumbass. That's what you get when you Google. How do I know if my house is haunted? Pay your electric bill and turn on the damn light. Hope you got a good deal on this. No electricity, having demon infested shit. Bye. Stupid door. Fuck me a snake. Come on. Well, Mr. Boogie seems to be a dick. Dude, your house sucks balls. Get stitches. Shit, you need a priest. Snakes don't have feet. Whatever, deputy dipshit. Oh, deputy so-and-so. I was way off. These drawings all suck like his kids. Oh, shit. Mr. Boogie in the bushes. This Mr. Boogie is creepy as fuck. Oh shit. Little demon hands pulled his ass down. Oh fuck. Oh sure, Mr. Boogie's gonna shove that bat straight up your ass. What the shit? Way to go, haircut. At least he didn't piss in the dryer. Mega hit. Talk show circuit. More like a Dateline special bitch. Sure, come on in, deputy dipshit. Run interference. How about pulling some strings down at the power plant so I can get some fucking lights up in here? Lawn work. Oh, this will be good. More like creepy stalker work. Oh, lawnmower at night in the rain. Oh shit. Dude, you need to fucking move and like write a kid's book called Initiation. I mean, sure, drink some Kool-Aid and wear a robe if they want you to eat children. Yeah, maybe bold. Here comes Babe Ruth. Oh, fuck. What the shit? Is that his kid or what the shit? These kids are nasty as fuck. Pay your light bill, fucker. Oh shit. Little Michelangelo girl is fuck. Oh shit. I thought that was a fire. Just the sun. Good, some light at least. Becoming friends, just sitting in the dark. Yeah, that's not weird. Odd about the house? Besides no lights and shit? Did I see something? Well, it wasn't squirrels, deputy dipsh. Whatever, deputy doctor fail. Lay off the whiskey, pal. Yeah, try to get out more. No shit. Like to another house, dumbass. Who's Stephanie? She is a big red flag. That's what she is. They didn't die here. Ha! No, in the backyard. Ha! The place was a steal. I wonder why. Technically, she is not dead. Technically, you are a dumb fuck. Wife is fired up and pissed. What else can you do? That's what you get with an English degree. Write murder books or teach, that's about it. Wait, did he ever fix the big ass hole in the ceiling? Oh shit, someone was filming his ass. That's how that shit started. Sure, just go up the attic stairs, dumbass. What the fuck? Oh shit, how the fuck is everyone sleeping through this shit? Oh, now he is freaking you out, lady. Where have you been the last hour? Read the room, hey, Die Hard is back. Anything I need to know about. Ha! Were you bullied? Yeah, by Mr. Boogie and the gang? Guess it's time to take up teaching, bud. Damn, that's a big ass house. Probably a steal because it has no power. Gateways. Yeah, you were pretty much living in Gateway Central. What kind of book am I writing? The one where Dr. Seuss eats all the kids and there's the box again. Like fucking Demon Uber Eats, drop that shit off. Whatever Spielberg, go ahead and edit that shit. Deputy dipshit, dropping some knowledge. Oh, fuck! Here is the extended cuts. It's those kids that shooshed his ass in the attic. Oh, you are fucked. Yep, looks like your kid hit Home Depot and loaded up on duct tape. Told you that is some red flag shit. Oh, shit! She painted all over the walls. I am guessing mom and haircut got fucked too. Yup, they in the drawing. That was some fucked up shit.
Every single week, it's gold.
I mean, I do have a bone to pick with him on this one, though. On this show, everybody's opinion is valid, but if you are gonna, I will not stand for Deputy So-and-so slander on this show. Do not call him Deputy Dipshit.
Listen, Dr. Dipshit.
Yeah, I was about to punch him in the face on that one. I'm like, you do not disrespect Deputy So-and-so. So then he loves it when people don't turn lights on in these movies.
Oh, this pool party got fucked up real quick.
Yeah, he's like, oh, deputy dipshit dropping knowledge. And,
you send me the sound bites, and I keep them on my phone and play them at the gym now and again.
Dude,
I'm standing around lifting weights, cracking up.
Oh man! So John, thank you for the endless laughs on that. I hope you like your theme song. But we'll keep that going for sure. But yeah, with that, if you have not seen Sinister or Sinister 2 or Black Phone 2,
Get the fuck out of here!
This is probably your time to go watch those and thank us later, because you are welcome. If you've never seen these movies and don't plan on it, then listen to us, steal our ideas, our hot takes, and talk to your friends about it as if you'd seen the movie. So without further ado, here we go. I don't know why I was going to say Frozen there. It's not Frozen.
You do have two young girls, so
I do. We've been watching a lot of Frozen. Much like Frozen, here's Sinister. So, Chris, if you want to start off on kind of how this movie starts off, because in my opinion, it set the tone for the entire movie, and it did not back down from here.
It really didn't. I mean, the opening scene of this film, like you said, to your point of it setting the tone, the opening screen, as it shows the credits, is a family of four, I believe. There might be three of them. with bags over their heads and nooses around their neck that are tied to the branch of a tree. And you don't really notice it at first, but there on the opposite side of the tree, there is a chainsaw that is cutting down a branch that is giving leverage to the branch that they're on, that they're being hung from. And as that goes down, it slowly lifts them by their neck up off the ground to be hanged. I mean, that's the opening shot of this film. I mean, immediately you're just like, what is this going to be about? But essentially, we have Ethan Hawke, who plays Ellison Oswalt, who's a true crime writer. And he has had a huge hit named Kentucky Blood in the past that actually helped solve a true crime that the officers were not able to figure out. So he wrote the true crime novel. It actually helped solve the old case, and it was a hit for him. They made a lot of money, and that's kind of his career as a writer. And we pick up with him and his family, his wife and his 2 young kids. They're moving to a new house, which, unbeknownst to the wife and the kids, is the house that those murders from the opening shot took place in the backyard. Now, Ellison knows this. And the reason he's moving to that house is so that he can be inspired and write another true crime novel about those murders, in the hopes that he actually might figure something out and solve it again. That's he's kind of chasing that dragon.
Hang on, I almost caught the dragon.
You almost, Captain. You don't ever catch the dragon, Dad.
He wants to do it again. As they're moving into the house, when he's taking some stuff up to the attic for storage, he does come up. He finds a box that has a scorpion in it. But there's also a projector and some Super 8 films, and they're just labeled as home movies. So, kind of a cool thing to come across when you're moving into a house. You never know what you might find. But he decides to take the movies, and yeah, absolutely, jump in.
Can I add something here? So, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the one where they are moving in, because the town sheriff pulls up as they're moving boxes in, and you can tell law enforcement is not a fan of old Ellison.
Don't like Mr. Oswald.
No. Now, while he did help solve that case, Kentucky Blood, there have been many times where he was wrong and in his books, and it caused a major strain with law enforcement. So he even says to the cop, he goes, "So I'm guessing that you and your department will not be at my full disposal."
I am going to go out on a limb and assume your department is not at my disposal.
Well, what do you know? You can still get things right on occasion.
And then he's walking back from that conversation with the cop, and his wife is like, "Oh, what was that all about?" And he goes, "Oh, wanted an autograph. We'll come back later. Haha." She's like, "That bad, huh?" And the cop also says before he leaves, he points to the house and he goes, "I find this in completely bad taste."
I find this to be in extremely bad taste.
And Ellison's wife looks at him and goes, why was he pointing at the house? And she goes, "Please tell me we didn't move in 2 houses down again from a murder scene."
Why was he pointing at the house? Ellison, we didn't move in a few houses down from a crime scene again, did we?
Tracy.
No, just don't say anything. If we did, I don't want to know about it.
We didn't.
And he looks her dead in the face. He goes, "I promise we did not." And he's not lying there.
He's being honest.
He is. It's just like, oh boy, this is not going to be a fun conversation later in the movie, because at some point they're going to find out. But sorry, had to jump in there. But they find the Super 8 films in the attic.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did, because we're gonna circle back to that officer a little bit later. But obviously, as we said, Ellison's goal of moving into this house is writing about these murders and hoping that he might uncover something just like he did on his last book. And the first night, he sets up his crime lab, his writing studio. He's got notes and things from the murders and all the things that he puts up that kind of gets him thinking. And once he gets everything set up and kind of writes down a few things, he decides he wants to watch those home videos that he finds in the attic. And if you'd like to jump in and kind of tell us about some of those movies entail, Mr. Ross.
Man. So this is where my love for this movie started, because again, even watching the trailer, you get little clips of it. It's like, okay, what's this all going to be about? So obviously, the first film is it's the tree hanging scene of the house that they're in, and there's a couple cool shots when they're moving in, and the camera is looking at Ellison the tree is in the background, and it's just this ominous, like, overbearing figure, this tree, because you know what happened. But this one starts off with the family enjoying a day, and I think I want to say the title of this one is just Hanging Out. All these Super 8 films have these super innocent titles, there's like Family Pool Day, there's just, and they all tie into there's Family Barbecue, all things that you would have if you filmed family events. I'm sure everybody has had, we talked about VHS last week. I'm sure people have had the VHS, hey, this is my graduation. This is, so-and-so's third birthday. And so there's Hanging Around. And then the Family Barbecue one, same type of deal. But in this one, the family is in their car in their garage, and the camera, whoever's filming is the one doing the murders. So that's kind of what Ellison is looking for, is who is filming these, who is responsible. So it goes all the way around the car. I can't remember how many people are in there, but they go around, and then the camera just sits down looking at the car, and boom, they light the whole thing on fire. Family Barbecue. That's what that one is. Let's see, what were the other ones that were in there?
Pool Party.
Yeah, Pool Party. So that one, again, they're all hanging out by the pool, having a good time, and then the camera cuts to night. And this one was really disturbing. I mean, you mentioned there wasn't like much gore in this movie, and that a lot is left up to the imagination, which I personally love. You don't have to have an R-rated horror movie that's just a gore fest all the time. Conjuring did that really well too. Not a ton of gore, but in Pool Party, all of the family members are they are strapped down to the long pool chairs, the lounge chairs. And their mouths are duct tape. They cannot move. And then whoever is behind the camera is pulling a string, a rope on each of them, and they just pull them into the water. It's again, no gore, no nothing, but just the fact that they are completely helpless. And the thing with all these cases is that one child from the family has gone missing on each of them. The rest of the family is murdered, but one kid is not accounted for. Another one of the films is Family Slumber Party, and this one is pretty straightforward. It's literally the person behind the camera goes up and slits the family's throat as they're sleeping. And there's some really cool shots in here because Ellison is watching these, and you can tell he is starting to drink more and more frequently. He's down in that whiskey in each movie that he is watching, each home film. And this one's cool. It has some fun shots where like he's looking away, and the screen behind him is very blurry, and you can just see like a slash in red. So again, not really gory at all, but just the sheer just brutality of it. And it has that found footage feel. And the most infamous tape on this that still gets me to this day is the I think it's just called yard work or lawn work or something.
Lawn work, mowing the lawn or yard work or something.
And literally
lawn work.
The kill in this is it's probably my all-time favorite. And
the cool thing is you don't even see the kill. It cuts right before it happens. It's genius.
Yes, in this who's ever behind the camera kind of mounts the camera onto this lawnmower, and it's at night, it's rainy, and the light from the camera only lights up about maybe half a foot in front of the lawnmower.
No sound, by the way. It's a Super 8 film, so it's not recording sound. So
yep, there's a little, like maybe a little static here and there, but yeah, nothing. No score, no nothing. This lawnmower goes
just thinking about it, man.
It goes, and I could literally time it and know exactly the second that the jump scare is coming, and it'll still get me, because this lawnmower goes forever. At least it feels like forever. And you as the audience know, like, you can probably guess she's gonna run over somebody, or this person's gonna run over this person with a lawnmower. And it comes up, and there's just this huge scream, and Ellison like jumps back, and It is peak horror.
You see the person's body just tied up with their eye. You see it. It's almost just a split second. Like I said, the camera cuts away right before the lawnmower actually hits them. But remember, you only see maybe a foot in front of the lawnmower, and it's just going. And then all of a sudden, you see that body, and you can see their eyes just wide, the whites of their eyes staring at this lawnmower coming at them. Oh man, terrifying.
God, yeah, and and we've brought that up on other episodes, like, you know, the Final Destination kill had the lawnmower kill. Like, a lawnmower kill is always good in my opinion, but yeah, this one, it's that split second. You see the eye, you see the person after however long it is that you just see the ground and this lawnmower going, and it's oh man, it's so intense. But so that gives you a little backstory. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any, other than, like, obviously the one at the end. We got
you're hitting it. You're hitting it perfectly. Actually, I want to jump in and say there is something special about all these films. As Ellison is watching it, he notices in all the films there's almost like a mysterious symbol. It's like a cult-looking symbol. And it's like he really has to go frame by frame in some of these things because it barely sticks out. But he notices it in one video, he sees it in another video, he sees it in a third video. So he kind of writes it down. You know, he kind of does just a sketch of it, just to make sure he's seeing correctly. And I will say this: one of the most terrifying things at this point too, as he sees this little, you know, this sketch, this symbol, whatever it is, he almost sees, like, just out of the very corner of all the videos, he sees like a strange figure just standing there. It looks like a man in black just standing there. And I will say this: in one scene when he's sketching down, the symbol. He has the man's. It's like a blurry face, almost like a horrible blurry face. He has it in frame and he has it paused. And as he's writing the sketch down, the face turns and looks right at him and then goes back to staring what it was. That's another one of those parts of this film that's just like, oh my gosh, it gives you all the chills. But moving forward, he does realize that he matches one of the films to a 1998 murder of a family out in St. Louis, and like you said, the disappearance of their son. And he starts linking these things together, and he starts to see, oh, one of these other ones was a murder from a family in 1966. So he puts these together, and then he actually ends up hurting himself because he's back in the attic looking at while he's investigating some noise. He comes across a snake, and he sees the lid of the box of movies that he found that first day when he was going into the attic, and he sees a little sketch on the lid, just like a kid wrote it, like a little stick figure. And it says Mr. Boogie next to it. And right as soon as he sees that, he actually falls through the ceiling and falls down. He hurts himself. And this is where our friend, Deputy So-and-so, comes into the
Not Deputy Dipshit. Let's stop that right now.
John, we see what you say. We disown you, sir.
Yeah, I don't approve of that slander. But yes, Deputy So-and-so, who is, and I think that is his credited title in the movie. We never find out his real name. He is Deputy right. So-and-so.
Yeah, we don't ever get his name, do we?
No. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we get his name in the sequel either.
That's a really
spoiler alert. Sorry, but
anyway, go ahead.
He is the comic relief in this movie. He is so deadpan with everything that he's saying. Like he's talking with Ellison because Ellison is talking about how he saw a snake, and then he's like, "And I heard footsteps." And Deputy So-and-so goes, "Well, snakes don't have feet." And it's just so deadpan. And the reason he gets the name Deputy So-and-so is because he's a fan of Ellison's work, his books, and he goes, "Hey, you know, at the end of your book, you know, you always have this, thank you to Deputy So-and-so, and I could be that for you." So then, therefore, he is Deputy So-and-so, and he even puts him in his phone as Deputy So-and-so. And they just have this really fun back and forth. The snakes don't have feet, and you saw something spooky. And since the other police officers in the town will not help him, he relies heavily on Deputy So-and-so, and it's this really fun. It does break up the tension because this movie is 89% tension, between the family dynamics, the murders, everything. And I just want to talk about how I think the biggest victim in this entire movie is Ellison's wife. She is
agreed.
She is taken through the ringer. She's lied to. She supports him. She loves him, but it's clear that he's not going after this for justice, which is ironic because he's watching one of his old interviews from Kentucky Blood after he had the success of that, and the interviewer says, "Well, what's more important to you, the fame or the justice?" And he says the justice, and how he would rather cut off his hands than write something for money. And clearly, that's all changed because he's chasing his own in cold blood, and that dynamic is really interesting because obviously they're not rolling in money anymore. They're moving to this place, and that poor wife, man, I just breaks my heart. And I think Dead Meat, they did that podcast. They did a bracket of like the worst horror husbands and boyfriends, and I don't know if Ellison won, but he definitely was in the final four.
Absolutely. And it's not that he's a bad guy. I mean, he
not.
clearly loves his family. He's not a bad guy, but to say that what he's doing is absolutely horrible to his wife and his family is the understatement of the year.
Yeah, it's not like he's not outwardly, like, he's not abusive, he's not disrespectful, but and yeah, he loves his family, he loves his kids, he is trying to provide for them, but yeah, like putting them in this situation is just, and it just slowly gets worse and worse and worse. Like, his son comes home from school one day, and said that he drew 4 people hanging, and that he gets bullied at school because of what his dad is writing about. And his daughter, her big thing is she paints on the walls, which John mentioned in his song, Stop Painting on the Walls, because they give her free range in her room to paint whatever. And I think she even paints a picture of, you find out Mr. Boogie Bagool, and she paints a picture of this girl Stephanie in the hallway, and so the mom is pissed and is like, "Look at what your daughter did. She's drawing in the hallway," and she goes, "That's the little girl Daddy's writing about."
For us to let you paint in your walls, and what was it? What's the rule, Ashley?
Paint only goes in the bedroom.
And what makes you think you can paint out here?
I wanted to paint her picture, but she didn't want it in my room because that used to be her brother's room.
What? Who are you talking about?
Stephanie.
Who's Stephanie?
She used to live here. She's the one Daddy's writing his book about.
And then that's where the tension really heats up in the marriage, because then she goes, "You promised me we weren't moving into a house," and he goes, "No, you said
not 2 houses down."
Yeah, you said at the very beginning of the movie, you asked if we moved 2 houses down, and then she's like, "Oh, come on, really? You're gonna put that on me?"
What the hell were you thinking? Did you think I wouldn't find out?
Of course I knew you were going to find out eventually, okay? But don't blame me for not telling you, okay? Because remember, you never wanted to know.
Don't try and pin this on me! I asked you if you were living in the house, and you said no!
You asked me if we were living 2 houses down from a crime scene, and I said no.
And he goes, "Look, it's not like they died in this bedroom. It's not like we're sleeping where they were slain." Well, she's like, "Really? So they weren't killed here?" He's like, "No, they were killed in the backyard."
Never should have come here!
Tracy, nobody died here, okay? It's not like we're sleeping where somebody was killed. It's not like they had to wipe blood off the walls for the open house.
You're saying it didn't happen here?
No. It happened in the backyard.
Oh, that is so God, you think that makes a difference?
Oh my gosh, this guy, man. I mean, you just feel your heart goes out to this poor woman. And I do have to mention too, obviously she finds out what's going on in the house. He, just chasing these murders and actually solving them, he does reach out to a cold expert, Dr. Jonas. And with the help of Deputy So-and-so, he starts to connect that all the murders that he's seeing on these films, he's noticing that they're all connected. So they're different cities. They took place in different cities at different times. But like you said earlier, one child from each of the family disappeared, and they start to make the connection that all of these people, the people who were killed in a video, had lived in the houses of the people that were killed in the previous video. So the family that was killed in 1972, they lived in the house of the family that was killed in 1966. And then the family that was killed in 1981 lived in the house that the family was killed in 1972.
And so on, and so on, and so on.
You know how these things go.
And the other piece, Dr. Jonas, Ellison asked him about the cult symbol that he sees, and this is where things get pretty intense. This is where it gets scary to me. Dr. Jonas links it to a pagan Babylonian god named Bagul, who was said
a deity. What kind of deity?
A very obscure one, dating back to Babylonian times, named Bagul,
to lure children into his realm and consume their souls. Now he doesn't necessarily. The eater of children, exactly.
The eater of children.
Did you say eater?
Yes, of children.
And Jonas, the professor played by the always wonderful Vincent D'Onofrio, he doesn't suspect the murders that Ellison is telling him about. He doesn't. He's like, this is probably a cult initiation, right? I don't think it's one person doing this. How could one person murder all these people from 1966 all the way up to the early aughts? I mean, it would be insane to think about. But anyway, to your point, how things start escalating, as Tracy is furious that Ellison has moved them to the site of the crime, hauntings and things around the house start happening. And one night, Ellison finds the ghosts of all the missing kids that have been kidnapped, or the missing kids from the prior murders. He sees them all in his own attic, and they're watching one of the home videos. And he's looking up into the attic from the stairs and the hatch, and on screen, Bagul appears, and then he physically starts to appear before Ellison. And at this point, Ellison, despite chasing all of this stuff, despite wanting to get this book right, that's when he does kind of snap back to reality, which you actually don't see in a lot of movies happen, but the protagonist kind of comes to his senses. He destroys the camera, he destroys the projector, he destroys the movies, everything. And his wife sees him burning them outside, and she says, "Are you done?" He's like, "I'm done. We're out of here." And they pack up and they move. Middle of the night, they just grab the kids, throw some clothes in the car, and they move. They leave town and head back to their old house. And something fun happens on the way out of town. I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, and when just a nerdy observation here, when they're when he is burning everything in the fire pit outside of the house, the soundtrack behind it is just so eerie.
What's the matter? What's happened?
You're all right. I made a mistake. We should have never come to this house. We have to leave now.
Oh, you're freaking me out here.
Get the kids, pack the car. We have to leave. Go!
And yeah, you're like, I'm watching a horror movie. He's doing all the right things. He's doing all the things that I would do if I was in this situation. I would, I'd get the fuck out too. So he gets his family out of there. They get in the car. He's hightailing it out of town, and he gets pulled over by the sheriff from the start. And he goes, "You know how fast you're going? Why are you in such a hurry?" He goes, "We're leaving." He goes, "What? You're leaving?" And he's like, "Yep." Like Ellison is just completely stone faced. You can tell he is terrified. And he goes. The cop goes, "Oh, well, what about the book?" And he goes, "There's not going to be a book." And he goes, "No book?" He goes, "Well, I want to know if you were bullied out of here. If anyone said anything, because I want to know about it." And it's actually like this. I thought it was a really neat realization from both characters of like, hey, he's not going to try to extort this town, and he is truly leaving on his own accord. And he even says, he's like, you're leaving the town. I don't see a need to write you a ticket. And says, keep it under 65 until you cross county lines, and then you're someone else's problem. So it was a cool little interaction there. And again, this soundtrack's going in the background. So they go back to their old house, which the one observation that everybody says about this is like, why the fuck did they move? Because this house is gorgeous.
This house is insane. Like, you guys, when you see this house, their old house, you really understand how much money he made from that first book. Because this house is like, it's straight out of Downton Abbey. This thing is like, it's a mansion. It's a literal mansion. It is gigantic. It's made of brick. You can see, you go inside and you see his study upstairs. It's literally the size of the house that they had moved into. It's gigantic. And I will say, too, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit earlier, but despite him moving back, Professor Jonas, he gets all set up. He's kind of staying up late. He's getting things going. He's actually deleting all the files on his computer that he was working on for these murders while he was at the other house. He's just kind of deleting everything, and he gets a video message from Dr. Jonas, and Dr. Jonas says, "Hey, I'm just following up on Bagul. Ultimately, these are some. There's not a lot written down about him, but these are some of the images that are associated with him. Here's the mysterious symbol that's associated with him, as well as a scorpion, which he saw that first night, a snake, which he found in the attic, and a dog, which he actually ran into earlier. We didn't mention this, but he did run into a dog in the backyard of the house. Jonas says the early Christians thought that the images of Bagul, like the pictures of him, created a gateway for him to enter into their world and then possess the children who actually look at the images. So
there just isn't a lot left. Everything else has been destroyed.
Why?
Well, superstition. Early Christians believed that Bagul actually lived in the images themselves and that they were gateways into his realm.
Gateways?
Yes. The ancient church believed that he would take possession of those who saw the images and cause them to do terrible things. Or in some cases, he could even abduct the viewer into the images themselves.
Like I said, he's deleting all the stuff off his computer. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He wants to be done. And unfortunately, he's taken some things up to the attic at his old house. This is the house that they moved away from. And he finds the projector and the reels that he had burned in his attic. And there's a new reel that's labeled Extended Cut Endings. Now, He immediately goes to work editing all these Super 8s. I mean, he just can't help himself but to look at these extended cut endings. And while he's doing it, he notices that, and this is where it gets really sick, all the extended cut endings are the one missing kid that no one found after all the murders committing the murders.
What's the missing kids?
The child that they couldn't find after all these was the one doing the killing. It was the one that slit the family's throat. It was the one that pulled them all into the water. It was the one that burned them alive in the car. It was the one that ran the lawnmower, ran them all over. Like, that missing child is the one that did it. And while he's watching this, Deputy So-and-so calls him. I jumped the gun a little bit earlier, talked about this earlier, but Deputy So-and-so calls him, and he's panicked. It's almost midnight, and he calls him, and he's like, Mr. Ellison, Mr. Oswald, the last piece of this puzzle is every time a family's murdered, the next family that moves into the house, they become the next victim, but they don't die in that house. They're only killed after they leave the house. And the hauntings of the houses that they're going into, the houses where the murders took place, that's what's providing the incentive for them to leave. And Ellison realizes that, oh my God, we just left that house where some murders took place. And Deputy So-and-so says, not only have you moved back, but you've put yourself right as next on the list.
Yeah,
and right when he's doing that,
you didn't just speed up his timeline. You put yourself in it.
You know what time it is?
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, but I've been trying to call you all day.
Mm-hmm. What's the problem?
Okay, the problem is that you moved.
And how is that a problem?
I was compiling all of the data that you've had me collecting, and once I started putting it together into a nice readable package, I saw the connection. It was obvious.
What was it?
The dates, the addresses. Each family that you had me look up had previously lived in the house where one of the earlier murders took place.
Each family? All 5 of them?
Yes, and when you put them in chronological order, you can actually draw a line from murder to murder to murder. Okay, we knew that the Stevensons previously lived in the same St. Louis house where the Millers had their throats cut.
Right.
But before the Miller family was killed, the Millers lived in the same house in Orange County where the Deluzio lawn massacre occurred. Guess where the Deluzios lived before they moved to Orange County?
Sacramento, where the Martinez family was burned in their garage.
Exactly. The pattern goes back to the 1966 Oregon drownings. Listen, Mr. Oswald, you just moved out of the last house in line. If this guy is still out there, you not only just sped up his timeline, you put yourself in it.
You put yourself in it. You're right at ground zero, the way that these things have been happening. And Ellison, he's been staying up late. He's drinking some coffee that his daughter brought him, and he's getting really sleepy.
With a note that says, "Good night, Daddy."
Yep. It's a note that says, "Good night, Daddy," and he's drinking his coffee as he's watching these films. And you start to see him, he's just feeling lightheaded, and you think he's tired. But he looks down at his drink, and he notices something shiny and green at the bottom of it. And he sees the note that says, "Good night, Daddy," and he completely passes out. Camera cuts, he awakens, and he finds himself, his wife, Tracy, and his son Trevor. They're all bound and gagged, laying on the floor. And his daughter, his 10-year-old daughter, clearly possessed, approaches with a Super 8 camera, filming him, and she says, "Don't worry, Daddy, I'll make you famous again."
Don't worry, Daddy. I'll make you famous again.
And then she dismembers the entire family with an axe and uses their blood to paint pictures and Bagul's symbol on the wall.
It's family painting. Yep.
Family painting is the name of that film.
And you say that she dismembers them, but the way they reveal it, because she swings the axe at Ellison's head and then it cuts. And she is drawing in, and obviously you see the blood covering the walls and everything, and her hands covered in blood, but she is drawing on the inside of that box, much like the other kids did, kind of reenacting their kills. And it's just, it shows like mommy, daddy, her brother, and it's just like the head is in one piece, the torso's in another, the arms are in another, the legs are in another. So like, yeah, she went to work on this, and it is demented when you just backing up a little bit when you do see these extended cuts, because you do notice it's the kids and they do this little like, put their finger up to their mouth and go shh to to the camera, and then they disappear. The one that stuck with me was that the family hanging, because the little girl Stephanie, she's like skipping around and she jumps on her dad's hanging body and like uses him as a tire swing. And that part, oof, man. But yeah, you're watching this movie and you're like, this has been a fantastic movie. Please don't fuck up this ending. And for 99% of it, they did not mess it up, because the way they reveal it, and there's when she's writing the stuff in the box, the screen with the Super 8 has all the kids on it, and they're just like looking at her. And she gets taken by Bagul into the screen, into that world, and
he appears behind her and he lifts her up, takes her into his world.
The one thing I hate about this movie is the very last shot is the attic, and the stupid jump scare is just Bagul's face going "what up?" And it was just completely unnecessary. And I did some research on it, and I guess Blumhouse insisted that be put in there because they wanted to end off on one last good jump scare. But that's really the only knock that I have on this movie was that very last second. And obviously it doesn't kill the ending or the entire movie, but it is such a, it's an experience walking out of that theater, because you're like,
bro,
damn,
it is so freaking scary. And by the way, that final jump scare after Bagul takes Ash, the little girl, into his world, the camera's panning away from all of this, and you can see the box of films in the Oswald's family's attic, the newest film titled House Painting 12. And the camera's just panning out, and then Bagul shoves his face in the screen.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we got you. Fuck
gotcha.
But
all this to say, man, I mean, the way that we even talk about it can't even do this film justice. I mean, it's just really something you have to experience. You got to see, because it's just so damn good.
You have to experience it more than once too, because it truly is, it's one of those that will be timeless. And they did a study on it. They ranked the scariest movies of all time based on heart rate by an average however many people, and Sinister took the top. So they recorded heart rate throughout the movie, and this had the highest of any. So according to that, it is the scariest movie of all time. It is our favorites, of course. And then I will just start off going into Sinister 2. I think maybe a big reason why I didn't like it was because I was so psyched for it. And there's a lot of sequels where you're like, why are they doing this? And, because they ended this first one so perfectly. And I remember watching the trailer for Sinister 2, and there were so many aspects of it that I'm just like, I cannot wait to see this story progress a little bit. And the main part about it was the little clips of like the Super 8, the different family murders that they're going to show in this one. And I was like, oh man, there's an alligator in one. There's a scarecrow one. And the very last shot of the trailer is one of the kids, the family and he's holding the Super 8 and he's just like screaming. And that's how the trailer ends. And I was like, we get a behind the look of like what these kids are filming when they're doing this. And then it just, didn't do it for me.
Hot take from me. Controversial take. It's not as bad as I remember it. And having watched it again, preparing for this podcast, it's not as bad as I remember it being, and I know I might stand alone on that opinion.
I mean, given some time to let it breathe, I know in the moment I walked out going, that was completely unnecessary. I'm going to forget about that movie tomorrow, which I pretty much did. And I went back through it again, not as recently as Sinister, but especially went back through like the Super 8s on it, and there are some gnarly ones like the
The
snow
rats.
cabin one. The rats was interesting in the sense that that was actually like a medieval torture kind of device. So that was neat. Like the CGI on the alligator is stupid, but I like the general idea. It's kind of like they're hanging over the lake that's in Pearl. It's just this alligator is going to come get you. But yeah, no, I guess if you want to go into obviously it's not going to match up to Sinister 1 by any means, but if you just want to give a quick overview on the because we spent a lot of time on Sinister, which I knew that we would.
How could we not, right?
I know it deserves so much of the time. So I guess we might try and power through some of these here, but yeah, Sinister 2, since you have a better viewpoint on it than I do, let's hear it.
Yeah, like you said, I think we'll kind of power through this one. But the basic plot of Sinister 2, it's very different from the first one. It's not just, the next family down the line. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not really. Ultimately, like you said, the film opens up again, just showing people being killed. There is a kid who's got a Super 8 a Super 8 camera who's filming it all. But you eventually learn that there's a mother and her two sons who are kind of squatting in a house, and one of those two sons is watching. He's being visited by the ghosts of missing children, and they're convincing him, "Hey, watch these videos, watch some videos, watch the videos." And throughout the early part of the movie, you kind of start to understand, like, oh, these are the missing murdered kids from the first movie. Or not, sorry, they're not the murdered kids, the missing murderer kids from the first movie. And you kind of start to understand, like, oh, this is how they get new kids to do it. They're haunting children in other houses, and it's a pair of twins. I believe Dylan and Zach are their names, and they're continuing focusing on one of the boys, Dylan, who doesn't want to watch these damn movies, but they keep convincing him to. Zach sees them as well, but they're not interested in Zach, and Zach's kind of jealous about it. Enter Deputy So-and-so, who is now a PI, which is kind of cool. And again, you just can't help but like the guy. But ultimately, what he's doing, he's actually researching all of the murders connected to Bagul, and he is burning down the houses where every murder took place.
I'm gonna burn it all down.
The hopes that if he burns down enough of them, it'll interrupt the cycle and stop Bagul from continuing to murder families like he had the Oswald family. Now, there's kind of some back and forth between the two boys' mom and her ex-husband, who is obviously an abusive man, and he's kind of trying to get custody of the kids. Deputy So-and-so intervenes to help her. And there's a little bit of a budding romance between the two of them, but thankfully the movie doesn't really focus on that. It focuses more on these poor kids who are being visited by these ghosts. And as the movie progresses, Dylan gets far enough, like, his mental state is deteriorating because of all these videos that these ghost children are making him watch. And interestingly, as his brother's behavior and aggression starts to escalate, these ghost children actually say, "Hey, Zach was our real target all along, not you." And Zach's thrilled about this. So similar to all the older murders, Zach he kidnaps his brother, he kidnaps his mom, kidnaps his dad, who had gotten custody of the kids. Same, puts him to sleep with whatever the concoction is that you saw the little girl give Ellison in the first one. And he strings them all up on some scarecrow posts, and he's going to burn him to death.
I'm going to burn it all down.
He actually does burn the father to death, and he's filming it, so you're kind of at ground zero when one of the films is being created. Thankfully, Deputy So-and-so arrives just in time, hits this possessed little kid with the car, frees the mom and the other little brother, and they run into a cornfield. And Zach, the boy, obviously still possessed, he grabs a sickle. It's very Children of the Corn at this point, but he grabs a sickle, runs after him. He cuts off poor Deputy So-and-so's fingers. And they get to the house where the mom and Dylan are hiding, and the murderer ghost children are trying to help him find them. But just as he does find him, and just as he's about to kill him, Deputy so-and-so actually manages to destroy the camera that he's filming with, which breaks the cycle. All these ghost children kind of make Zach feel like crap for failing, and Bagul appears, and as punishment, because Zach wasn't able to kill him, he actually kills Zach. His body decomposes really quick. And there's a cloth projection screen they were used to watch the film, and it kind of bursts into flames, and that causes Bagul and his followers to seemingly become white. So the hope is that with this situation in the second film, they have interrupted everything, and Bagul, it will be no more because they broke the cycle. That said, while Deputy So-and-so is kind of collecting his things to leave, he does find an old ham radio that played a little bit of a bit part earlier in the movie, and he can hear the ghost children speaking to him through it. And then Bagul suddenly appears out of nowhere, and the camera cuts.
The same jump scare that they end the first one with. But yeah, and I'm glad you brought up kind of the song, because that's also in the trailer. It's like, here comes the boogeyman.
Hush, hush, hush. Here comes the boogeyman.
And I thought that was awesome. In the trailer, it made me. I'm a big trailer guy. That made me just fall in love with that. I did like a lot of aspects in this, because it is hard to follow up that story. They do have you pull at the heartstrings with the abusive dad and trying to get custody and everything. And it is very satisfying when he's the only one that bites it on the scarecrow.
He is a real douchebag. I mean, he's a real bastard.
Yeah, he's because even there's a point where Deputy So-and-so goes to the house and he's like, "Look, you got to listen to me," because the dad ends up. I don't think he gets full custody, but they are reunited reluctantly.
I think he kidnaps them, doesn't he?
Right. He might, yeah. But they're all like having a dinner, and because the mom wants to be like brave for her kids, and Deputy So-and-so, because I think they go to another house, so then he wants to make sure that they're not in the cycle, so he tries to warn them, and he gets his ass kicked by this dad. And he's like, I will murder you, and I'm going to go have sex with my wife now, because he obviously thinks that Deputy So-and-so and his wife are romantically involved, which I agree with you. I'm glad they didn't go into that a little too much. I don't think it fit in Deputy So-and-so's character. He truly does just want to help, and he's got like this little crush, and I think they played that perfectly. There's a few neat and maybe a little corny scares in this movie, like Deputy So-and-so is in the hallway, and it's kind of like a lights out effect. He has the flashlight, and he looks down the hallway. Nothing's there. He brings it down. You see like a silhouette of the kids. Brings it back up. Nothing's there. You bring it back down. Nothing's there. And then he brings it up, and boom, Bagul's right in front of his face. So there are some cool effects like that. It's just, whether it was the surprise of like how the Super 8s were shown in the first movie, because you didn't really know what you were expecting. Obviously they had to up the ante here. And that's not to say these aren't creepy. Like the one with the blizzard and the snowstorm. I forget what the title of the Super 8 is, but basically they incapacitate the entire family, dig holes for them outside in a freezing snowstorm, and they literally bury them in the snow to where just their head is out and they freeze to death. And it is so creepy. And it's expertly shot. It had so much potential and so much wasted potential, given what we came from. And that's why it's not my favorite, and why I do think it brings down Sinister. Maybe it was in the moment a little harshly viewed, but after rewatching a good chunk of it, I still stand by the fact that see it. I don't think you're going to miss
worth a watch.
If you skip it, you're going to be fine. If you watch it, maybe again, hey, if you have a different opinion on that, or if you agree, hit us up on roastedsnowhorror@gmail.com. And then now we're going to get into the Black Phone and see if it can where it matches up, and see which series actually takes the cake here. And I will tell you, the Black Phone, while not as scary as Sinister, it is very creepy.
And can I say too, before we jump in, it takes place in Denver. which is where we are.
I was going to say, yeah, we're in Denver, and the very first shot is a baseball game in North Denver in like the 80s or the 70s, whatever it was. And it's like, oh man, okay, cool. I'm already into this. And there's there's a kid that rides a bike later in the movie, and he's wearing this old school Denver Bronco jacket. I'm like, I love that. Oh man.
Fun fact, Scott Derrickson, who we've been talking about since he's done all these movies, from Denver, grew up in Denver. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's maybe it's why we have such a special connection to these films, because hometown kind of thing. But he said that he used his experiences at growing up in Denver in the 70s as kind of his influence for the theme of these films, which is kind of cool.
Well, and it transports you right there. And I mean, the premise on this one, again, it's Sinister and this one are very similar in the sense that there is a very practical, premise along with a supernatural twist. So in Sinister, it was a true crime writer researching a serial killer. This one, it is simply a serial killer named the Grabber that abducts children and kills them. That lives in this neighborhood, and the supernatural twist in this one is that Finney, the main character, we'll get into it a little bit, but he gets kidnapped and he's getting calls on this disconnected black rotary phone in the basement that he's abducted in. And he's talking to the previous victims of the Grabber. The Grabber is played by Ethan Hawke, so it's a complete 180 from what he did in Sinister. And he's under a mask for almost all of this movie.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
And the cool thing about this mask is it's very creepy, but it was also made with removable bottoms, so like he can have one where he's smiling, where he's frowning, where so it does kind of go into the mood that the killer is in, and he switches the mask accordingly. But basically, this one, the movie starts out at this baseball game. Finney is pitching, and he gives up a homer that loses the game to I forget the kid's name, but this kid. It goes up to him after the game, and Finney's obviously dejected, and he's like, "Hey man, you almost had me. Your arm is mint."
Man, your arm is mint. You almost had me.
And turns out this kid that said that gets abducted by the Grabber and is killed. Finney's home life ain't great.
No, that's the understatement of the day.
Yeah. He and his sister live with their single dad. Their mom had committed suicide years and years earlier. Had visions and was basically crazy in the dad's eyes. And the dad is a raging abusive alcoholic. And there's no real redeeming qualities here. He is just an absolute prick. He is so mean to these kids. And there's one scene where it's he is forcing his daughter to say, I don't see things. I don't see things.
Yes!
Do you understand me?
Yes!
Say it. I want to hear you say it.
My dreams are just dreams.
Say it again.
My dreams are just dreams.
Say it again.
My dreams are just dreams.
Because he thinks that she is crazy, just like their mother.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You are not your mother.
And obviously he's heartbroken that his wife, their mother, killed herself and left him in this situation, but he has taken it out in a very negative way on his remaining kids. Finn is bullied at school, and there's this kid, Robin, that kind of takes him under his wing and protects him. But Robin, unfortunately, is also abducted by the Grabber and killed. And so there's just this underlying thing and I kind of thought the town was a little too casual about like, hey, let's let our kids walk everywhere because this
it really brings out the idea. I mean, you and I were the last generation of kids that were allowed to just be outside all the time, and like coming home was when the streetlights turned on,
Mm-hmm.
And it really kind of throws back to that. It's like, kids are being kidnapped, and but hey, just be home before the sun goes down.
Right? Yeah. Watch out for grabbers.
Mm-hmm. Watch out for the Grabber.
And the way the grabber abducts,
make sure you're nice to your brother and watch out for any grabbers.
Right. But the streetlights, that was the thing. It was like, oh, we got to get home. Streetlights are coming on. But yeah, and then now, like, as a dad myself, I'm just like, I need to know exactly where they are at all times, who they're with.
Out of your sight line. It's like, well, my lord,
oh
it's an emergency. Red alert.
And this one, it's because Ethan Hawke plays the grabber, and I believe he drives around in this, in a Chester molester van. Like, it is the creepiest van you'll ever see. Like, free candy and all. And is he a clown, like, or a magician? He has this persona, and he has like these black balloons, and he lures these kids into his van, and that's how he abducts them. And so. Story goes, and I should say that while his sister is getting beaten and everything because the dad thinks that she has premonitions, turns out she does. And her brother Finney, he is the next abducted by the grabber, and she starts getting visions of some of the other kids that were abducted, and she's trying to piece this all together. But she's also in this weird spot where she can't really tell anyone about it because she's afraid she's going to get beaten at home, and she's very strong-willed. Like, she cusses kids out.
Fucking cock-sucking coward! Fuck you too, ugly ass face.
And, it's a very fun character. And so Finn is in the basement of the grabber's house, and he starts getting these calls on the phone. And it's from each time he answers the phone, it's from a different kid that was abducted. And it's the really interesting take here because clearly it's ghosts of dead kids. They can't remember their name. And the ones that have been killed further away, like have been dead the longest, they know the least amount of details about themselves.
Scott Derrickson really has a thing for dead ghost kids too. Huh?
He really does. But he does it in a really good way because there's cool shots like Finney will pick up the phone and be talking to one of these dead kids, and you'll actually see the kid talking to Finney. Obviously Finney doesn't see the kid, but you can hear the voice through the phone. You can see him talking. But basically each one of these kids, when they call, gives him a different set of advice to help him try to survive this. One of the things is the grabber leaves the door unlocked one night, and so Finn's about to go up because he's like, oh, he messed up, he left it unlocked. Phone rings. It's one of the dead kids, and they just say, don't go up the stairs, he's waiting for you.
Hello?
Don't go upstairs.
Why not?
It's a trap.
It's Naughty Boy. He will beat you senseless with a belt. And another kid is like, I started, trying to bust out a hole in the wall in the back. And each one of these kids gives a little different piece that can help him. None of these other kids made it out. And he, while this is going on, his sister is trying to find him. She gets, pieces of information here and there about this house and where it is. And you learn a little bit more about the grabber. And my favorite part of the movie is that the grabber's brother is living with him, and the brother is none other than Deputy So-and-so.
Deputy So-and-so!
Yeah, not actually Deputy So-and-so, but the same actor. And he's playing this this coked up brother that is like, and he is trying to find the grabber. He is so committed to this. He has like the yarn board and everything connecting pieces, and he's trying to get the cops involved. And he's like, oh no, I know where this guy is. Meanwhile, he's living with the grabber, so he clearly is clueless.
Yep.
So he goes, I forget how it happens, but he basically figures out that like the grabber is his brother. He goes downstairs and he sees Finney there, and he goes, oh man, like I knew something was off.
No fucking way. I knew that he was hiding something from me down here, but holy Mary, Mother of God.
Please, help. Can you call my dad? Call my sister.
Oh, listen, don't worry, he's not here. He had to go into work. I'm Max, man. Stay calm. No wonder he's freaking out this morning. Hey, you want to know the story about how I found you, man? Hey, no. Don't worry about it. We can talk about this.
But and then boom, axe to the head.
Yep.
Which is probably one of the goriest things out of any of these movies that has happened. And it's even then, it's still not that gory. I know, axe to the head. It's pretty tame, but
it's very it's very American Psycho.
Right.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
That's an interesting movie. But yeah, it is very much like that. Yeah, he throws an axe into his head, and then he blames Finn. He's like, "You made me kill my own brother."
Look what you made me do. You made me kill my brother.
So
talk about gaslighting, huh?
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. I was abducted in your basement, and your brother came down, and you axed him in the face.
You made me kill him.
Yeah, it's all your fault. But that's an underlying theme here, is that there is a lot of gaslighting going on, and the abusive dad, and the grabber, and the way they try and find him. The premonitions get more intense. They get more detailed. There's one of the kids. He was a bully at the school. He was one that was abducted by the grabber. She starts seeing a vision of him, and he starts beating the crap out of this kid at an arcade. And he writes down, I believe the number is like 7741 in his arm, like carves it into this kid's arm. Turns out that's the address of the house. That's the house number. So finally, Finn's sister gets the cops involved.
Is the house?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'd never seen it before today, except in my dreams. The tree, the door, the address, the gate, every detail.
The dad is not happy about it. But they go to this house and they can't find shit. They can't find anything. It's very like Saw 2.
Carrie, we're in the wrong fucking house.
It's very there's many movies that have done this twist before. They're like, oh, they're not at the right house. So Finney, though, takes all the advice that he gets from all of these dead kids. And Robin is the last kid that he hears a phone call from. Robin, the kid that was protecting him in school.
And by the way, gives him the best advice, in my personal opinion.
He does. He and it's a cool shot how he teaches him. He says, pack the receiver of the phone with dirt. There's dirt over here. Pack it. Really, really get it in there. It will make it a blunt object, and use that to defend yourself. And he teaches him, like, here, hit, step back, and hit.
Then you practice over and over. You raise the phone. Take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. Try it.
Now?
Yes. You raise the phone. Take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. Again, you raise the phone. Take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. Again, you raise the phone. Take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. Again, you raise the phone. Take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. You got it. Now fill the phone with dirt like I told you.
And it's really cool because you can see Robin as the ghost showing him the exact moves and how to do it. And so he takes that into consideration. And the grabber comes down to get him to finish the job. And I think he even says, he's like, I really liked you, Finn. I really liked you. I really did like you. And, again, trying to disarm him. And what I think is really cool is so Finn gets in the struggle with him, and he ends up wrapping the telephone cord around his throat and choking the grabber out, and the phone rings, and Finney just has this deadpan face and says, "It's for you." And,
go kid.
Yeah, and he lets the grabber hear the receiver, and the receiver is all these kids, and they're saying the same lines that they said all movie. They're just like, welcome to the end of your pathetic life. And the last line is, Finn's arm is mint, from the first line in the movie. And then he snaps his neck.
It's for you.
Welcome to the nightmare end of your pathetic little life. You don't have much time. Today's the day, motherfucker. I can't kill you, hijo de puta. So Finn is gonna do it for me. Finn's arm is mint.
And kills the grabber. And it's just I have to rewatch that scene all the time, like especially going into the Black Phone too, because it's just like, oh, such badass, so badass. Not really. This, like I said, this movie isn't scary, but that part was badass.
Well, there's a special thing that I don't know if it's I don't know if it's like the justice lover in me, but when the victim takes, I hesitate to even call it revenge. I should say when the victim meets out justice to their abuser. There's a piece of me that's like, yep. Okay, I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah, and like going back to Sinister too, that's why it's so satisfying when the abusive husband, gets barbecued.
Yep, lit up like a Roman candle.
Right, and I love it when the writing really builds that up, which this movie did fantastically, because Finn is kind of a wuss at school, and he needs these people to help take care of him and help. And I think even his sister talks shit to people to protect him. And then now he has come full circle. He has defended himself. He has gotten all this stuff out. And what I really liked, and I kind of skipped over it, but when he's talking to Robin, he's getting emotional, and he's like, the last thing he says is, "I miss you." And Robin says, then get out for me.
This was the last call, Finn. It's all you from here on out.
I miss you, Robin.
Then do right by me. Get out of here.
Use what we gave
Love
you.
that.
Yeah.
The writing in this film is really solid.
It is. And it was a little divisive when it came out because, obviously, again, it was billed as the super scary movie, and that may have hurt it a little bit. But if you go into it with an open mind, it's very well done. And like I said, I'm not always the most I either want, hey, this is a serial killer, we're going to go through this, maybe it's a procedural, or a true it is supernatural. I don't always like it when it's mixed, but these two series, love it. It works just so perfectly hand in hand. And then, Finn ends this movie, he's going to school, and they're just like, oh my God, that's the guy that killed the grabber. And, he's this badass now at school. And there's this moment with the dad, and he's hugging the kids. He's been abusive, he's been a shithead. And he's just like, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'll change. And as an audience member, you're like, sure. I'm sure these kids, hear this all the time. And as we get into Black Phone 2, that's one of my favorite aspects of that movie. Did you have anything else to add on Black Phone 1 before we move to the sequel?
No, I thought you nailed it. I mean, like I said, I think the writing in the Black Phone is really solid. I like the justice aspect to it. I mean, there's a lot of cool scenes in there too. Like all the things you could think of, if someone's kidnapped and held in a basement, all the things you can think of and all the ways you could think of to try to get out, the kid really does. And that's why, again, it feels good because it's grounded in reality. I mean, except for the dead people calling on the phone. But there's no real suspension of disbelief. You know what I mean? And I like that about it.
Yeah, you can get into it, and the way the dead kids are presented is very you can get behind it really well. So then I was a little surprised when they greenlit the Black Phone 2, because I was like, well, how are they going to do this? Is it a prequel?
Yeah, what else is there to say?
And then I saw the preview, and I'll just be honest, I hated the trailer. I was like, really? The grabber becomes Freddy Krueger now.
That's exactly kind of where I thought the movie went. I was like, is this Nightmare on Elm Street Redux?
Right. It was because you see it. The kids are older now, and now Ethan Hawke, the grabber, he's coming after for revenge through dreams from Finney's sister, because she's still having these premonitions. But the second one, it does a real good job bringing you into kind of where things stand. Finney is still a badass at school, but he feels the need that he has to keep that name up for himself. So he's beating up kids for basically no reason, new kids, to show that he is still that guy that took out the grabber. He never wants to talk about it though. He wants to just forget that it happened. And his sister starts having these visions, and they end up actually ending up back in the basement, which I don't know how that is still a thing. if the grabber,
you think they tear the house down like they did the Dahmers?
Right. And like their deputy so and so makes an appearance as a ghost with like an axe in his head, and so there's a cool little thing about that. It takes you back to the first movie and kind of reminds you about what happened and kind of the trauma that they're trying to live with right now. And what I love about it is their dad has completely turned everything around. He is attentive. He's like super dad. He is loving. He hasn't touched alcohol in forever long. I know, I think he got like a year pin or something. Like he's been into AA. He is truly getting help, and that's not a way that I saw this going. I thought they would still have to have that battle with him, and it's just a nice heartwarming thing to see that, hey, this character can turn it around. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, if something bad happens, is he going to relapse, and is that going to cause strain again? And then God, forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, because I did see it a while ago. It's a new movie, but I saw it a while ago. But they end up figuring out that their mom went to this camp in the mountains, and again, we're from Colorado.
You guys say Colorado.
So the mountains, that aspect, that's awesome.
And I gotta say, I grew up in the mountains. I'm from the western
slope.
There
you go. Mm-hmm. And is it Telluride that it takes place in?
Yes,
I forget the city. Yeah. So, and I think they find like a flyer from the camp. And so
Alpine Lake is what it was called.
Alpine Lake, yeah. And so the sister is saying, we have to go. They're hiring. There's something here for us that we have to see. And the dad is like, where'd you get that? And it's clear that he does not want to talk about it. There's a scene at the very beginning where a lady is talking on this payphone, and you can't hear the other end of the conversation. And it turns out that is their mother from way back when she was at the camp. And I'm trying to think of the events that lead up to this. Again, I'm sorry. But God, what happens? they get to the camp somehow.
They do. Don't forget that the girl, the Hope is her name. She's having dreams, and she does receive a call from her mother. Or I'm sorry, Gwen receives calls from her mother. Her mom's name is Hope. I'm sorry, I got that backward. Now remember that they do find out the murders that happened at that camp. She's essentially Gwen's mother, Hope. Was having dreams just like she's having when those murders took place. So they decide they have to get out there because they want to investigate all the stuff and figure out why she's having these dreams, what's going on behind them. And that's kind of their impetus of actually going out there. Of course, when they get there, a nice blizzard happens, which, you and I have certainly been through many blizzards here in our glorious state. And you can understand how debilitating they could be. And sure enough, these poor guys are trapped in the camp, along with their supervisor. And I think his niece? It's not his daughter, it's his niece?
I think his niece, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then just some camp employees. So they figure while they're there, they might as well investigate what Gwen's dreams might mean.
Right, and there's that payphone outside, and that's the catalyst. That is the black phone in this movie. But yeah, the setting in a blizzard. I love a good horror movie that takes place in a snowstorm.
One of my favorite horror films of all time, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, take place in Antarctica in the middle of a blizzard. Great,
right,
great setting.
It's just there's that added aspect of, hey, like, you can't leave. Mother Nature said no.
It's hard to feel more isolated than stuck in a blizzard. That's one of those isolating feelings you can have.
Right. And so they find out that 3 kids were murdered. And Gwen starts getting these visions in her dreams, and the kids and it's the dead kids. It's like one, the one that stands out to me is like his face is like, it's cut in half. So this movie's probably the goriest of the bunch. Like there's a scene where he's outside and like the window like cuts his face off like in half. And like I thought that was a really neat kill. Not really a kill because they were already dead, but and they're writing are they writing a phone number in the glass or under the ice in their in the visions?
Yeah, because they're in the lake.
Right, they're writing numbers, which is the phone number to call, and so you find out that Hope was calling Gwen,
and don't forget the second night they're there, Finney receives a call on that dead payphone.
Right, from our good buddy the Grabber, and he's out for revenge. He's like, you should know that death isn't permanent. And so there's a lot of cool aspects of that, because then Finn's just like, no, I'm done with this. And that phone rings, and I don't know if you ever saw the movie Phone Booth, but that's what it reminded me of, was a ringing phone has to be answered.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? You hear a phone ring and it could be anybody. But a ringing phone has to be answered, doesn't it?
What?
I hope you realize how you've hurt my feelings.
And can I say, too, during this phone call, we were talking about gaslighting earlier. The Grabber again blames Finney for forcing him to kill his own brother.
Look what you made me do. You made me kill my brother.
Yeah, in case you forgot.
You son of a turd.
Previously on the Black Phone. Yeah, and so he's messing with his mind, and Finney still thinks he's gotten away from this. He hasn't. And it escalates to a point where the Grabber goes after Gwen in her dreams. And I actually think when it first starts out, because the dreams are in Super 8, which I think is awesome. It goes back to that found footage feel. The sound design is very nice on it. And that's when everybody kind of starts believing, because it is very Freddy Krueger-esque. Like, you can see the Grabber is attacking her, but if the camp employees come in and see her, it looks like she's just being thrashed around by an unseen force. So they try to research some more when things calm down, and they're just like, no, like, this is the Grabber. You find out more about his backstory, that he was also at the camp, and he killed these 3 kids, and did it in brutal ways. Like, it's like the one kid I said, like, he got axed. What did one kid get burned alive? Yep. And I forget what happened to the 3rd kid, but he just got like stabbed. Like,
one of them was killed. One of them was burned alive. I think the 3rd one was he stabbed, or was he? He was stabbed. I was thinking he was drowned.
And so the whole time there's these little bits and pieces about, like, where are they? Like, we have to find them. We have to find these kids in order to set them free. That whole cliche that's happened in a ton of other horror movies. What was it? The Ring, I believe that was the premise there too. Is like, hey, we have to set her free. That's what this one was too. And so they get the rest of the the employees on board to help out, because the main guy there, the head of the camp, he remembers this person. He remembers Hope. He remembers everything. And he actually has a conversation with the Grabber, and at least I believe he does. But again, I apologize. This one, out of all of them, is the one that I've seen the least, because I saw it once, and it was when it first came out. So I'm trying to recall the.
They do remember, as they're kind of after they realize the Grabber is he's not. I don't want to say he's undead, because that makes you think of zombies, but he's active, I guess I should say. And in their idea of needing to find the boys, they figure out that all those bodies are in the lake. And a lot of it has to do with the flashbacks, and then, kind of writing numbers on ice. They realize, like, where's the ice? Oh, it's the frozen lake. They've got to be beneath the lake.
And yeah, the lake is frozen solid. And this is kind of where the movie lost me a little bit, is, I've played hockey all my life, and they mentioned something about how the Grabber played hockey and liked to ice skate and whatnot. And there's this whole scene where he is ice skating and, like, fucking people up on the lake when they're trying to find these bodies. And it seemed very campy to me. It kind of took me out of it, but they find these bodies, and they have this showdown with the Grabber on the ice, and you can see his little skate marks on the ice. Otherwise, only Gwen can see him, and they try to, like, get her awake, but it's done really well as it could be. I just wish it had gone a different way. I wish it would have been, like, in the cabin, because those scenes were so effective. And then you just hear the phone ring. But they find the kids, buried beneath the lake. There's some close calls there. What I didn't like was that Finney was the one to kill the Grabber, or the ghost of the Grabber. I wish that had been Gwen, because this movie centers around her mostly. And I thought that would have been a good way to have her come full circle like Finn did in the first movie, because I believe they take his skate off and they decapitate him.
And I was the only guy to ever take off his skate and try to stab somebody.
Yeah, I mean, they end up fighting him. I mean, they locate the boys under the ice while they're doing it, and the only way to really defeat him is to actually, do something with those boys' bodies. They have to get the bodies, they have to recover them, and when they do, they actually remove all of his power. And that's when, the fight takes place. He's brutally attacked by all three of them. Well, I should say two of them, and then the spirits of all the boys. And they hit him with the skate, and he's actually dragged beneath the lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I
thought it was. I will counter there. I thought it was kind of cool that Finney was the one to strike that blow, because despite Gwen being kind of the focus, this is almost like the Obi-Wan versus Vader, right? It's like, or Obi-Wan versus Maul. It's like, hey, I'm the one that struck the first blow in the Phantom Menace, and then when you come back and we despite you fighting a lot of other people, like, our conflict is still the main one here. And then Obi-Wan kills him in the desert. He's the one to strike the blow, just like Finney's the one to strike the blow here.
Right. And I mean, like, I think it's maybe just because Finney wasn't in it as much, and he was, he was kind of, I don't want to get involved in this. And then obviously he's thrown right into it because he answers that phone call. But there's a cool scene where Gwen is in the phone booth, and I believe she gets sliced open and like she gets like put in a blender. So there's a really cool scene there. And that was also very, Freddy Krueger-esque, just without the laughing. So I thought it was solid. I thought it was a lot of aspects of it I really liked. Both films together I also really liked. It's just, they're just fun. If you haven't seen either of them, because I know Black Phone didn't have like the wide release since COVID.
Yeah, it was another small hit, kind of like Sinister was.
Right. And it's so well done. It's so creepy. Like I said, Sinister's scary. This one is more, suspense, mystery, all that. Not a ton of jump scares or anything. So they are different enough to compare. So you said you were going to have a hot take. Between Sinister and Black Phone, the two series, which one wins and why?
So, I mean, I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anyone listening to the podcast the way that I've spoken about the films. But, I mean, Sinister, for me, it definitely takes it. And my hot take about it is, again, going to Sinister 2, for all of its flaws and for all of the things that it doesn't do well, having rewatched it in preparation for this podcast, I can say it is much better than I remember it being. And I think it doesn't deserve all of the hate that it gets.
That's fair. And, that was very brave of you to step up and say that. But
I'll take my licks.
So, and I touched on at the beginning of the show that, like, Sinister 2 is, it's chained to Sinister, and it can bring it down. And so if we are voting on these as a series, the Black Phone is just consistent between the two as far as quality and as far as, like, I don't feel like they rushed the sequel. I feel like the sequel stands up just good enough and is solid on its own. And it's a good companion piece to the first one. Having said that, though, you could literally film me watching the trailer for Sinister 2 for 2 hours. And Sinister still carries it. So I am with you there. Sinister wins. It's going to be hard to find something. But I did think this brought up a good discussion on the two series and how it was close if you do have both those movies on there. And I thought it was interesting because you actually are okay with the sequel, whereas I hate it on Sinister 2. And we still come to the same conclusion on that, because that is just how strong Sinister is. And that is not taking anything away from Black Phone or Black Phone 2, because those are awesome movies as well. It's just... I feel bad because, Sinister could take this on by itself.
It's just, I cannot recommend it. When people ask me, give me a horror movie recommendation, I mean, Sinister is usually the first thing out of my mouth. It's just, gosh, gosh, this episode's turning into my love for Sinister, but that is what this podcast is all about, I guess. I mean, this film is just so damn good. Every piece of it, the acting, the writing, the scares, it has just enough paranormal in it to make it scary, but not too much that it gets ridiculous. I mean, this film goes toe to toe with the best horror films, in my honest opinion. I think it's just really genuinely that good. I love that it stood the test of time. I love that, the found footage aspect, putting it up against even things that are coming out today that are, low budget, really well done horror films. I mean, Sinister's a slugger, man. Sinister can go toe to toe with everything and come out on top. I love it. And that's why it has my pick.
It's just those types of movies are so rare. There's a lot of movies that follow the same pattern, those same patterns, and are predictable and this and that. And even watching Sinister the first time, I think even I was like, okay, the kids have to be involved somehow. And even knowing that, just the way it's revealed and the creepiness of it doesn't take away from it at all. And there's very few movies that you just walk out of and you're like, that is incredible. And at least for our generation, that's up there. Obviously, every generation has their own, heavy hitters. Like, I'm a big Scream guy. I'm a big Saw guy. Those two revolutionized.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't think Sinister revolutionized horror, but it's what horror needed.
Oh yeah,
in a downtime.
Similar to how the first Saw movie came along and did the same thing.
Right, and my hot take about Saw, and I'm gonna work on something to do a Saw episode. I don't know if it's we put all the traps up against each other, but I think
that's
Saw
gonna be a
1,
hell of an episode, a long episode.
Oh, dude, I think Saw 1 was a horrible movie. It was horrible, but so 90% of the movie is horrible. The last 5 minutes makes it iconic.
Game over.
And that's how it was when I was watching it, because I was so just excited for it. And I remember watching it and I'm just like, this is what I was excited for. Like, and I didn't even see it in theaters. I was pissed because I didn't get to see it in theaters. So I watched it at home, and I'm just like, God, this is just like, and they had an okay, like, you had a good cast, and I know it was super low budget, but, and then that end, and people told me, they're like, you'll never see the twist coming. I'm like, okay, it's Zepp. Like, I know it's Zepp. It's gonna happen, and then
not so much.
I'm not gonna get into it, but just that type of feeling. Like, obviously, that was for a big twist ending that spawned an entire franchise, and this was just start to finish. That very first scene with the Super 8 of the family hanging, and how slow it happens, and just how offsetting it is, and how it's able to keep that tone and keep that vibe the entire runtime. And then you mixed in a little comedy, not enough to make it, like you said, over the top, and make, never call him Deputy Dipshit ever again.
Yeah, well, listen, Dr. Dipshit.
But yeah, that's why, I was happy that we were able to talk about all of these, and we could have done an episode just on Sinister, and kind of what it meant to us, but trying to keep within the frame of the show. But again, let us know, guys, if you have any thoughts on this, at roastedsnowhorror@gmail.com, or on any of our socials. Like us on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts. We truly want to hear your thoughts. Like, even on this, we disagreed on a lot of things, just within these movies that we both love. So want to hear your thoughts on it, on kind of what we're thinking. And do you have anything to add in conclusion?
Nothing else. Just check out these movies if you guys haven't seen them. Damn it, watch Sinister. We would love to hear what you guys think. Anytime that you guys can talk about these films that we love so much, please drop it in the comments, shoot us an email. We want to hear from you. We want to give you shout outs on the podcast. And above all, thank you so much for listening. It's those that share this love of horror with us is the reason we do the pod. So thank you.
And piggybacking on that, we're going to start doing this thing at the end of our episodes where we each give a what we think is an under the radar horror movie for you guys to check out, a recommendation. So if you want to go first, Chris.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So this one, it didn't fly that high when it came out, but kind of in retro, as it picked up a cult following. It had a lot of love for it, and you could still watch it on Amazon Prime. I'm giving you guys The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Oh shit!
Yeah, great pick, right? I mean, this movie it's scary, it's creepy. It does have a found footage aspect, a little bit of a found footage aspect to it. It's a film documentary crew who's watching things. The basic premise is an old woman who's suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and this phone crew wants to document how Alzheimer's affects families. And the more that they film this lady, the more they see that maybe it's not just a brain sickness that is affecting her. But I highly recommend The Taking of Deborah Logan. You can still watch it for free on Prime. Check it out. If you've seen it, let me know what you think.
That is a great recommendation. And The Taking of Deborah Logan has at least one just striking visual that has not left me since I saw that movie. And that's all you can ask is, anytime you bring that up, it just popped in my head that the one scene that I'm thinking of.
Gulp.
Damn it.
I knew exactly which one you're talking about too.
I knew So I'm also going to go a found footage feel. But this one, I came across it few years ago, again, just looking at, what found footage, this, that, and they're like, this is the best found footage movie you've never seen. And I'm like, okay. And I'd never heard of it, but it's The Last Broadcast, which I don't know if you've seen it, but it came out, I believe, 1 year before Blair Witch Project. And it was about 5 minutes away from absolutely sticking the landing. And I recommend this for the sense that I'll just tell you up front: the ending is stupid. the ending is, and you'll be just like hitting yourself. You'll be like, "Why did you do that?" But it's basically these two guys are making an internet show, very early days of the internet, about the Jersey Devil, and so they're out in the woods, and it is Blair Witch before Blair Witch. Obviously, it didn't have the great marketing campaign that Blair Witch had, but it is interesting to see what could have been with this one. It's these two guys following the the Jersey Devil, not the New Jersey Devils, but fuck them, go Avs. And sorry for anyone out in New Jersey, I love you.
No, we're not sorry. We're Avs fans, but we love you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. So, and they have disappeared, and so this newscaster is trying to do kind of a documentary on it. So there's that feel to it. It does have a pretty solid twist at the end, but yeah, check it out. I believe it's on Shudder, The Last Broadcast. And it is truly a movie that a lot of people have not heard of. I did not hear about it until I had to seek it out on multiple avenues. So you have some good ones here. It's not going to scare you as much as The Taking of Deborah Logan, but man, those are two good ones. Watch those. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear it. And then what you can look forward to this week on Friday, we're going to have Predator Badlands take on your champ in Shelby Oaks and mine in Bugonia.
Booyah!
And we'll see if we'll see if Predator can take that over. But until then, unless you have anything to add, we'll get the hell out of here.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, we love you guys. We'll see you. Stay scary.
Stay scary.
The roasted snow.